What up, chat? How we doing? Watching from Papua New Guinea? That's sick. How you guys doing? What up, what up? Lindrick, the J. Carroll, Daniel, Naturally, said Brian, Victoria, Steric, Poison, how y'all doing? Eldred, what up? Cam, Wandering Wealth, Aussie Trader, Mudbutt, how y'all doing? Samuel, how'd you guys do today? So Brian, the four charts are the four indices. So ES, NQ, RTY, YM. I look at these four charts and then I come over here and I look at these four, which is just one name, but it's looking at four different time frames. Joanna, why you want to short ES? What makes you want to take the short? 5K and QQQ longs. Damn, Victoria. Nice trade. I actually traded New York for the first time this entire week. Even though I only technically watched the charts for like the first 45 minutes, I think. Made 800 on NQ. Beautiful. Previous day high. Yeah, I mean, we're not up there yet. My thing is, though, if I look at these charts, just because we're up at previous day's high, I don't necessarily want to short. You know what I mean? We are still stronger structurally. The daily is just slowly grinding up. But looking at the 4 hour, the main thing I'd be paying attention to is just this consolidation up here. Right now, it does look great for potential longs, at least up towards yesterday's high on ES, which gives us 6 points, somewhere, or 8 points, somewhere around there. Yeah, YM was strong. How'd it go, Linda? Good. Good. So what I did is early in the morning, I took IWM options. I want to say around here, I got an IWM options, got out of those for like 150% or something like that. And then we rolled into Alibaba. I wasn't able to post the IWM because it happened quick. We got in Baba somewhere down here. Got out at, I think it was 90 to what, 150? 90 to 160 on those contracts. And then I got out of the runners down here just because I really didn't feel like swinging anything. But it ended up being a really nice day. So it was a great day. What up, Bish? Market only goes up, dude, so far. It went down for a little bit, gave the bears that little bit of euphoria they wanted, and now we're just ripping. Made moolah on Apple. Beautiful. Let's do a little poll. And I already feel like I know what the majority of this answer is going to be. I feel like it's pretty straightforward, the current sentiment in the market. We're going to do it anyway. Also, today, I'm going to be doing a giveaway if we hit 150 likes. So if you guys like the stream, get 150 likes, I'll do a giveaway. Because one of the winners yesterday, they actually already won one yesterday. So that account's still up for grabs. Now, Victoria, I heard some stuff about Mitch's stream, so I do want to watch it. I was doing my front brakes on my car. I did the backs yesterday and I was doing the fronts today. So the past 2 days, like the entire time I was in the Baba trade, I entered and then I was working on my car for like a majority of it. I was just checking randomly on the chart, seeing where it was and like setting trims along the way. So I wasn't actively watching anything. What up, Com? Hit the market swinging today. Love it. Only traded futures. Any tips for someone who wants to learn how to trade options? SR, just learning the basics of options, I'd say there's a lot on YouTube. There is a lot. Like, there's just a lot you can find on YouTube just to learn how to understand them. It's easy. You just have to know the Greeks. And it's going to take a decent amount of time to understand strike and expiration and what you need to pick. Because it's a completely different ball game over futures. I love both, though. I truly love both. Especially if I can't like actively be near a chart, I'm mainly going to focus on options. Because I can enter them and just kind of walk away and leave, you know? But I think there's great times for both. And with options, for me, it's more so getting in the trade and just letting it do whatever. Whether it pulls back, hits my alert, or stops me out. Right? I love options, especially for like swings. I guess I'm hyped on caffeine. I'll have to watch it, Victoria. Yeah, of course, SR. The nice thing is, though, you got in futures first, and I feel like futures really define your entry and exits, which can be very beneficial towards options. What up, Jeepers? Anyways, did anyone take late night trades yesterday? Abram, 6 p.m. EST. Because there was 2 charts we watched yesterday. And if we look at it, one we were watching was oil up into 1015s, which happened this morning. Flawless. The other one we were watching, which I didn't capture full of both. I traded a little bit last night and a little bit today on futures, but not a lot. The other one was YM. Right? Unfortunately, we did get stopped out on YM. It would have stopped us out multiple times in the morning session anyway. Because that's a disgusting candle right there on the 4 hour. What is that? What is the range on that 4 hour right there? 400 points. Oh, no, that's not that 4 hour. I'm talking this 4 hour. Where's the range on this 4 hour? 500 points. Was that just market open? Damn, it's a big rejection. But no, we ended up hitting the 50,300 area. So YM was beautiful. If anyone did end up catching any of that. What up, CJ? Yep, and got cooked. Last night looked tricky. I watched a little bit of Alan's stream, not the whole thing. But up until that session, we spent a majority of the time consolidating on some of the indices. I know, obviously, these indices just face ripped right after I got off, which unfortunate, but sometimes it'd be like that. But actually, no, that was, yeah, right after we got off for the most part. Yeah, I did see that Alan did well. Your indicators, explain each one. I don't have indicators. I have EMAs, but I can't explain them because I don't use them in detail. EMAs for me are basically just colorful lines on the chart. I don't have a defined strategy around them. but I have the 9, 20, and 50. So that's all the info I can give you on indicators. Yeah, I'm trying to determine what I want to do tonight because I have 3 Tradeify fundeds that I can trade. Or I have 2 of those 5 Lucid fundeds I bought are halfway to passing. I have another Tradeify account that's on its way to passing. So I have 1 or 2. I have 1 eval that's on its way to passing because I passed 1 today. Which this morning I half yeeted because I was trading 2 NQ on an eval, which y'all know is heavy size for me. And then we got a 50-point candle and it passed within like 2 minutes. I was like, damn, trading NQ is easy. Let me open Lucid in case I do want to trade that. Yeah, so I have 2 accounts that are halfway. Okay. What up, Warren? Yeet an eval? I don't know if I want to yeet an eval. I have 1 that I could yeet if I needed to. Because I have 1 eval that's in drawdown out of the 6 that I currently have. So 1 could be yeeted. YM or oil banger today? I don't know if I want to trade the YM. I mean, it looks good. It does. It looks great. What I'd be looking for at the YM at this point is just a break into all-time highs, looking for the overall continuation. It could be. My thing is, I don't know if I want to trade tomorrow. So that's why I'm just like, I don't know if I want to swing overnight. I mean, it definitely has a lot of opportunity to go towards all-time highs. If YM went to all-time highs tomorrow, it's only 450 points away. That's light work. That's a couple hours of price action. All the other names look good on every time frame. It's just the daily is in that area where it's just in the middle of this range. Everyone. This is kind of just sitting in the middle. This one's sitting near the higher end of the middle, I guess. And then RTY is right in the middle. What's the weeklies look like? All right, hear me out. But YM, if this chart does get that continuation, next week should be so much fun on that name. Monthly's all right. But this weekly, as long as we don't sell off aggressively tomorrow, this is a very strong chart. And I like that a lot. I died in the chop this morning, blew my eval by a hair and it just ripped. Vish, isn't that one of the most annoying things in the world? And I've done it before where you size up a little bit on an eval. And at the sweep low of the session is where you get liquidated or stopped out. And you just look at it and you're like, it just liquidated me at the low and then just full pivot. I've been there so many times in the past. Please explain your prop firm funded strategy management and how you balance growing your account, but also taking payouts. Vulture, the main way I trade prop firms is I start with less accounts and I build those up to get a payout. And once I get a payout, I allow myself to start expanding on funded. The reasoning for that is if I'm currently not on a funded account and I'm working on evals, I don't want to blow a bunch of evals trying to get a bunch of funded accounts when I can just use one, end up getting that payout, 1 or 2. End up getting that payout, and then I take those profits and roll them into more evals. So it's kind of like reinvesting in a sense. And what I did was, obviously I got those 2 funded accounts we've been trading for 2 weeks now on Tradeify. I got the payout yesterday right before stream. And I took those, bought 2 more Tradeify evals. One of them's passed, one of them's in drawdown. And then I bought 5 Lucid evals, which 2 are halfway to pass and the other 3 are break even because I haven't traded 2 of them. Well, once I get more funded, I'm not going to trade them all together. What I would do is trade them in lots of 2 to 3 on each broker and just rotate it. Even if I don't trade some of them one day, it is what it is. I don't care. I'm not going to trade them all together though, and I'm just going to slowly rotate them. Let's say I do well in this session with a batch. Won't trade those at all until the next day if I'm interested. And then I want to trade after stream, like the 10 p.m. to maybe 1 a.m. session. I'll use different fundeds for that. And then if I trade New York, I'll use different accounts for that as well. And that just basically diversifies the entire risk overall. Where if one of the sessions is a bad day, bad session, that's stuck on like 2, maybe 3 accounts max out of, let's say I get to 10. Are there any good prop firm deals going on? Naturally, I believe Alpha Futures is 50% off. I think it ends today. And they're usually 10% off. So it's a huge discount for Alpha Futures. Let's switch banners. Let's go to the rotating one. Short for MCL. Well, I can see it. It's just like looking at this on the hourly, it's not that appealing. Mind you, it isn't a heavy consolidation, but it's really not that appealing. Especially something I noticed just by looking at this chart. And this is how you know multi-time frame is like you're doing decent at it. When you can look at this, you paint a picture of the prior day's candle where it opened somewhere around here, closed down here. So it was a bearish bar, right? And then today's opened around here, spiked the lows of that candle and closed just above this low. So it should be a daily fail to go lower. And that's not something I'm really going to want to short. In the end though, it's more of a doji in general. So it can break down. It's just not a chart where I'm like, yeah, I'm really overly interested in shorting like this. It can easily break down. Like I see what you're looking at. Let's say you draw trend lines for structure. You could draw something like that. You could draw something kind of like that if you want to, whatever it is. I can see that breaking down. So I'm definitely not opposed to it at all. I was leaning more so towards longs on the indices. I wanted more of a pullback, maybe like retest this area, but I don't know if we're going to get that. That's a strong hourly close. NQ is already at yesterday's highs. YM hasn't broken out yet. We'll see. That pivot happened to me 30 minutes ago. Fuck. Damn, Eldred. I was so convicted because me and Jay got the same idea. Oh, the short this morning? That makes sense. Vish, why you close crashing out? Oh, the chop. Yeah. Yeah, well, who knows? Maybe you'll win the eval I'm giving away later. Lindrick. Oil's a different game. Like, you have to be willing to take stops on it at any point, especially during war times. I mean, that's the one thing you have to remember. We're in war times. It is going to be the most quote-unquote manipulated asset out there because that's just how it's going to go. The entire war impacts it. All it takes is one news candle, and you're going to see $2, $3 in one direction, $4 in one direction. So you just need a wider stop and to be able to just let it cook. And be willing to take, whenever I trade oil, I size, well, it depends. Sometimes I size lower if I think there's a chance I get stopped, just because I'm willing to take a couple stabs if needed. Because that's what it requires at times. But also those couple stabs will end up getting you something like 7, 8R in a couple points. Blew a funded in that chop. I hate to hear it. Sounds like a lot of you guys struggled with the range today in the morning. Just from what I'm seeing on chat, seems like a lot of you guys struggled with it. I've been grinding for 2 years, no payout yet. Aussie, are you able to get funded accounts? Like how often, and this doesn't necessarily just have to be towards you, for anyone in general, like if you're getting fundeds, and as long as you're not just eating the accounts to get the fundeds, you can get a payout. All you have to do is follow the same structure and rules. And let's say it takes you 10 evals to get one funded. Unless you change something in your trading, it's likely going to take you 10 funded to get a payout. And that sucks. It does. But that's where the math kind of maths. And that's where you have to figure out, all right, what can you do differently? What can you tweak to really change those numbers? Change that overall win percentage on it. I feel like a lot of people would do better doing something similar to what Zach does. What he talked about yesterday in the podcast, where he takes not even the base hits, but he has one target that's not like an extreme target. He goes full out, and then he'll watch again for an entry. A lot of people I know will take a trade. Let's just say this wasn't the open. It was a normal setup because it's a clean trend overall. They'll take this type of entry, and they won't trim here really. They'll move the stop up to where they think it's viable, and then they'll get stopped out here in profits. Where if you just target those shorter trades, you can take it, wait for the consolidation for the entry, get the next one, take that one. And that's how some people could do better. Manuel, you bearish? I mean, you're looking for shorts, sell off incoming. Could. I'm not leaning towards it, but it could. Where was I in chat? You guys are yapping today. How's the Grand Cup going for you? I mean, good, but not good, I guess. Like I haven't blown the account, but I am stagnant at the like 2K to 3K range. And my thing quite literally is I have been looking just for home run trades. And I keep moving my stops to break even once it gets to a certain point. And like last night, I watched NQ go up. I think it was $1,400 on a trade. No, not last night. Was that this morning? Might have been this morning. Like $1,400 on a trade. And then it hit me at break even. Because I was just looking I'm basically just throwing full size on, hoping NQ goes 200 points, and then I call it. It hasn't done it yet. But I've actually been trading gold and NQ on it. And I've just gotten a lot of break-even stops. So I'm stuck at, what am I at right now? 2,400. Also a big factor in it, in the early week, I was very focused on my funded accounts. And I feel like a lot of my better trades have been taken on those, as well as like evals that I'm working towards getting funded. Because like one eval today, the growth account, I made 3K and passed in 20 minutes on a trade. Didn't take that on the Grand Cup account. That would have been nice. What up, AXP? Gold? I can look at gold. I don't love it. I'm not like in love with this consolidation here. I feel like a lot of people are going to agree. Has it just been me, or is gold lately in this early session just looking terrible? Like that's the consolidation. We go back to yesterday. This is what it did throughout the entire duration of the stream. Like gold has just been ass in the first 2 hours. One thing I would watch is if we do get under 45.40s or essentially over 47s. So it's like that similar little 7-8 point range as yesterday. I've been sitting in long since 507. Is there any reason to expect yesterday's range to break? I mean, Daniel, you kind of explained it in your next message. You said like what could versus what should. Could it break? Yeah. What should happen is if we look at the multi-time frame analysis, and I'll do that real quick on NQ because I know a lot of people are going to want to know. What do we have here? We have hourly just had a really strong candle. Could make sense for either this one to get continuation or one consolidation bar and then try to break it. Either way, we have 5-minute consolidating at the highs. 15-minute kind of just chilling out so far. If the 5-minute breaks, it'll trigger on the 15, which will get the hourly continuation, which the 4-hour will then likely go test that high. I'm bullish on NQ as long as it holds 29,440s. Any hold of 29 440s, I'm bullish on this chart. Let me fix these. Appreciate you, Vish. Yeah, usually when someone wins, we ask them to just like we're not going to give them another account immediately. Like someone actually won 2 accounts yesterday, and I just gave them one because we're just going to give the other one away, which is what I'm giving away tonight. By the way, if we do get 150 likes on the stream, I'm going to be giving away a Tradeify 50K growth account. Normally I ask for 200, but to be honest, it's technically by Friday. We've been doing well this week. Well, besides like 2 losses yesterday, half loss and then a regular loss. It's like 1.5 R, somewhere around there. Besides that, it's been a hell of a week. So I'm feeling generous. Oil is tough, but once you catch like 2 good oil trades, you're just in love with it. And that's what happened to me. I started trading oil again because I've traded oil on and off for so long. And that's where I fell in love with it. And then when the war started, I traded it heavily in the Discord streams. And that was just, I was trading oil every single day, all day. And that was all I was trading, besides shorting like ES a while ago. What up, Puton? Or Patoon? Patoon? Vish, I mean, I see that, especially with the morning thing. My only question would be for the people in chat is like sizing. Or was it death by 1,000 cuts in this? Because the only reason I'm bringing it up is there's multiple people in the chat talking about how they blew up today in the range. And is it just too much size, or is it just death by 1,000 cuts looking for that larger move? And at that point, usually after like 2 stabs, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna be a little more hands off, at least wait for a little bit more conviction. Just because then you start looking at the higher time frame charts and just be like, all right, is this really something I want to be in? Because I can tell you, if I'm looking at this candle and I see all of this behind it, I'm out. I have no interest in that. That looks god awful. That looks like it's going to blow all of my accounts. I don't want to be in that. And that's usually where I call it a day, which is what I did today. I saw a lot of the range. I did catch one like 70 point NQ trade in the range. Whatever it is. What would be 2 contract, $3,000? So 75 points? So I got a 75 point trade and then I was like, all right, I'm out. Do I stay cash this morning? I'm really starting to like trading Asia. That's the thing too I think that's the difference between New York consolidation and Asia consolidation. New York consolidation, a lot of people are going to sit there and be like, I don't want to miss the move. And they get that little greed aspect where I don't want to miss the move. I don't want to miss it. So I'm going to stab. Oh, it stopped me out, but this could be it. I'm going to stab. Oh, it stopped me out. So this could be it. I'm going to stab. Where if we consolidate during Asia, let's just say on gold, for instance, if gold gets this break, like let's say this is going to break down, break lower and sell off. If it breaks down, it may get one sharp move, but there's going to be some type of consolidation in which you can look for that entry. And within these consolidations, we know how slow they go. So there's so much opportunity to find an entry that you actually like within it. I think that's why I really love Asia, even when it consolidates. Meanwhile, it can be boring as hell. TBH kind of went on tilt, blaming the chop, probably the roll. Yeah, PK, and that's a good example of it, where you said blaming the chop. Everyone loves to blame the market. I've blamed the market before. I mean, shit, how many times also, even like, because obviously the market doesn't do anything, but how many times have anyone in this chat been in a trade and you sit there and you start praying to the market gods, like, please just don't hit this stop loss and let it hit target, and I won't full port this account again, or I won't use this much size again if you can just give me this one win. I guarantee you a lot of people have done that at some point. But that's the same thing as like blaming it on the chop, you know? It's something that isn't really going to impact it, when in the end it's just based on us. Where the chop, you can easily survive chop if you're sized for it, right? Being patient, taking the right amount of trades. But we all know if we size up, if we blow up, if we take way too many trades, way too much size, it's on us in the end. I do it all day. I've done it in the past. I'm pretty sure I did that on the NVIDIA trade where I made like 8K. It wasn't that it was like near my stop, but it was like, please just let this hit target. Just let this hit target and I have an insane day and I'll be beyond happy. Bro, you guys are yapping so much. I might have to skip part of this just so I can keep up with the normal chat. You think it's better to go more size, less ticks, or less size, more ticks? I feel like that answer is, it's really open-ended because it depends on the individual. What I love to do is less size, more ticks all day. I have no problem holding throughout the entire night session until New York with smaller size and just letting the trade cook. But there's also people like Zach, great example. I just keep bringing him up because it's the polar opposite essentially of how I try to trade sometimes with futures. There are times I trade like him where I'm just taking really fast trades and it depends on the market conditions. And he does really well with sizing and smaller moves. And it just, what do you want to do as a trader? That's the greatest thing is there's no right answer in that aspect in general. It's just more so, how do you want to trade? Gael, I don't think, I mean, even if the agreement was fake, quote unquote, oil's not normally just going to explode in general off that. The main thing is, I'm going to keep an eye on 97 and 101.5. We get outside of that, I'm open to trading oil. Inside of that, not necessarily. Because you look at the higher time frames, those are some decent pivots, especially on, I believe, the 4 hours, what those are from. Yeah, really large pivots overall. I just want out of this bigger range, then I look for that continuation. Or you can be within the range and look to trade it, which was the whole thesis of oil yesterday. Which we did get stopped on, and that bugger did end up running. But it looks like most trades would have been stopped out around the actual New York open. So the stock market open around 4. What do you think about shorts once previous day's high is taken? No wick on the daily candle. So at some point, you think we will create a bottom wick on NQ? We can, but to be honest, I don't really care about daily candle bottom wicks. You know what I mean? Because if you look here, there's damn near no bottom wick there. I mean, there's, I guess, most candles, but like this one right here, no bottom wick. But I don't pay attention to that at all. To me, all that tells me is we haven't tested below that yet. So that's going to be the baseline support. Obviously, it's also the open. But I could see what you'd be looking at with shorting that. The reason I would be okay with it is technically it's a daily lower high if we pivot. If we reject here, the only thing that's not a daily lower high is YM. YM's technically back in a daily uptrend. All the other indices are in that neutral aspect. I still lean more so long based off the 4-hour structure. But if we do push back below 29,520s on NQ, I guess I could see the interest in there. I feel like I wouldn't really want to short till we're below the open though. So if we end up pulling back more so, I'd probably just be patient to that. Just me personally. It doesn't mean you can't trade or short it. But I'm not trying to time a top on NQ right now. Hope that answered it. What are your thoughts on getting a trading coach or mentor? This is a really good one. I'm gonna pause this. Okay, music's paused. Just so in case I need to clip it. Let's go big screen, just cause. We'll look at the charts in a second. But my thoughts on getting a trading coach or mentor, I feel like there's two things you have to weigh. And yes, there's times it's going to be expensive depending on who you pick. Either way, it's going to cost money in the end. But there's two paths. You either take the path where you try to do the self-education aspect, and that's going to cost you time. You're going to save money, but it's going to cost you a lot of time. Or you can go towards the coach mentorship aspect and work with someone, and that's going to save you time and cost you money. So it's kind of just, what do you have more of at the moment? Where if you have the cash to be able to pay for it, I would say mentor, trading coach, whatever you want to call it, could be the better route to speed up the process, have someone actually work with you one-on-one to get you like where you want to go and at least get you a core foundation. Where let's say you don't have the capital, that's where you can just, one, watch these streams, go on YouTube, find ways to teach yourself. Because I know a couple of traders that have basically taught themselves how to trade and are doing okay. So it's just really one or the other. No, Kyle, I mean, that's a good point too. Would it really save you money because you're just going to lose a lot jumping through strategy? You will. But it's more so towards the aspect of just the coach in general. Because no matter what, you'll lose money in the market. You'll lose money 1,000%. So yeah, I guess that's a good point too. No matter what, it's going to cost you money. So just kind of, where do you want to spend your money? You know, how come your neon isn't on? That's a good fucking point. That is a great point, my guy. Now we're on. Liz, not yet. If I want to, I'll like, today's a day where I would throw it on, but I would throw it on just because I'm past, like I'd be working on evals. Kind of favor shorts. The one thing I'm curious is why do so many people want to short here? And I get previous day's high, but for me, if I see us trading off of a stronger daily chart into prior day's high, there's not somewhere I'm like, yeah, I want to short as soon as we hit that. You know what I mean? Seems like we had to pull back into the weekend. Could. Easily. And I mean, like I always say though, if it fits your strategy, you do you, boo. But for me, it's just, I look at the daily, or not even the daily, let's say the 4-hour chart. That's stronger for now. If we do pull back, this chart gets very weak because we'd be rejecting possible daily lower high. Even though if I want to test the prior daily high, I feel like I would want a larger spike above because you'd want a larger upper wick on that daily candle to show a stronger rejection overall. I don't know. I know I'm just not the type where I'm overly interested in shorting as we hit the high. What I would be more so interested in is if we go to this hourly and that spikes the high and then we get an aggressive pushback lower, which leads to that 4-hour failure to go higher. Then I'd be like, okay, we might be onto something here. We may see some more of a broader pullback. Also, I haven't looked at any of the Mag 7 names or any of the bigger names. So I don't know if those are bullish or bearish right now. So I don't have the full story there. Because for me, if we don't spike this high on any of the indices, that just screams daily inside bar. It'd be harder for me to see us, and we can do this, but it'd be harder for me to see us just going and taking out yesterday's lows right off the bat. Like just not being an inside bar, not breaking the high and just going and slamming the lows. It just doesn't fit what I would want to see trading. Do you short or buy right now? I mean, I'd be leaning more so up. We have a consolidation at the high of the session. I'd be leaning more up, but it doesn't mean it can't pull back. I'm not obsessed with the charts at the moment. I'm definitely, like, I'm open to trading, interested in trading. It's just, is it really worth stabbing here? And I just don't like this consolidation. We're not going anywhere. Also, majority of the wicks are to the upside, so there's a little more bearish pressure there. Because once we broke this, we should have at least tested yesterday's high. We couldn't even get up there. I would just expect this high to get tested at least once. And we haven't done that yet, is my only thing. Can't wait to see this on Instagram later. Dude, I have so many streams that I have to watch back and get clips from. I'm going to lose an entire day. I think I have to go back to like May 8th and get clips from streams. Just because I've been busy during the New York session, so I haven't been able to do it. And oh my God, do I want to procrastinate it so much more. GC shorts to 4,500 calling it in. I mean, gold's a different story. Gold has been weak over and over. What's that daily look like? Daily could be a lower high. Weekly, I'd see. Here's my problem. And this is where I would do this on like the 5 and 15, or where I say I want to wait for the hourly close. With the weekly like this right now, and there's 1 day of trading left, I sit at the point where I'm like, this could go either way when you look at the different time frames. If we do see shorts below last week's lows at 45.14-ish, I would be overly bearish next week, throughout, whatever. But if we end up getting a stronger close up, let's say anywhere between 45.50 and 4600, I'd be more so bullish on the lower or on the higher time frames, looking for that broader reversal back higher. But it's not like it's the chart where I want to see that daily close before I really get overly interested in this, or at least see something throughout the overnight. Because look at this. I mean, we've been in this range besides this little spike since last Friday. I guarantee you a lot of people, some people are probably doing good on gold here because this is a wider range. Not really. It's like 50 points. I'm more so willing to bet a lot of people have been getting cooked in this range if they're trading gold. And for me, I look at this and I'm just like, I would just rather wait for the break on that. Especially since it's something I don't trade overly often. I would rather just wait till we're out of that range, give us a trend of some sort, and then we trade that. That's what would interest me on gold. Yeah, Aussie, I'm the same as you. I do not have interest in shorts here. In the slightest. I don't. At least just based off the current structure in general, I'm not interested in it. I'm bearish puts on Apple. Huh? Now, are we being serious about puts on Apple, Liz? Or is that like a joke about puts on Apple? So I feel like this could be a little concerning. I'm going to take a small NQ trade here. And I might have just got a decent entry. Wait, did it put me in? Oh no, it smoked me on the entry. It put me in there. Oh well. I'm going to do that. This is why. If this structure holds, it's a 10-point stop. I'll take that all day. So I did take an entry there on NQ. I mean, I would love something like that, but I'm willing to trim. Just because of how tight the overall entry is, if it holds, I'm willing to trim half and then just let the rest run. Yeah, Victoria. Dude, I've liked trading NQ a little bit lately, just lower size for the most part. Like I said, I have a 10-point stop, so this is maybe a third of an R risk on this because I'm not aggressively sized either. How many contracts? Vulture, that doesn't matter. But I think I'm in 4 NQ, 4 MNQ. If it slams down here off yesterday's highs, range break is going to fail, and I'm cool with it. But for me, I'm willing to take 10.75 points. But no, back to Apple. The main thing that, like someone said short Apple, I feel like it was a joke just because looking at this, that'd be crazy. Shorting Apple at all-time highs. If we get some big gap up that fails, cool, open to it. Not really. I'd rather find a relatively weak name, to be honest. Find something that was weaker today and short that over that is what I would be doing. But that's just a very, very hard chart to short. Uh-oh, might be pulling back. See what the 2-minute does. This might be the tightest stop I've ever ran on NQ, which is nuts. Could be interesting if it does fail. Silver liquidity is so ass. Spence, I tried to trade that on the Grand Cup account, but I couldn't figure out how to trade it. JCap, my stop is 534.25. So it's the lows of the consolidation. Because basically, if this breaks, it should never test this again, and that's when I'd be willing to just ride it. It would be fun though, because I do plan to trim. And then I can just leave contracts if we can get half off. Oh, that's interesting. MNQ had a really big wick at the low right here, from what I'm seeing on the chart. Like the wick right here goes all the way down to 30, where NQ was 4 points above that. Interesting. This is oh, you know what I'm gonna do as well? Grand Cup account, full contract. Send it. Might as well. Can't take it with me. Got 1 day left. You must have read my mind. You just went long too. Yeah, I mean, the chart looks good on every time frame for the break. If it doesn't break, if we sit in the consolidation and sweep the lows, worth a stab. Worth the stab. 2 minutes, what? $150 or something. I am on an eval, one funded, and the Grand Cup account. The Grand Cup account doesn't count though. The only thing is, if we get to yesterday's highs, we need to get above that and above that immediately. And I mean immediately. Because if it rejects that, good luck. Because we're likely getting stopped there. Yeah, I would like 600 if we do get the break. We'll see though. We'll see if we can get continuation. Dump? You shorting? Joe, you were in on 40 micros on an eval? Jesus. You were trying to make or break that thing immediately. I mean, I traded 20 on mine and passed it within 10 minutes today. I will say though, for those of you that are short, if it stops me out, I hope it flushes. I hope I am just horribly wrong if it stops me out. If it doesn't though, good luck. Wait, Spence. Silver is sin? I thought it was SIL. Yeah, Gael, I agree. If this fails, like if we can't get over yesterday's highs, I would agree that we're likely staying in this range or getting stopped or going lower. Agreed. Thinking of quitting trading the NQ, I would say like come to the better side of ES, but I haven't traded ES in a few days. I've been trading everything, which at some point I will dial it back down, just trade ES for the most part again and rock with it. I'm gonna be honest, the main target I would love would be, I would say like 600 as a target where I would look to take a chunk off. And this feels like a very small trade. Like 55 points feels like I'm scalping. I don't like that. But the entry is just insane. Oh, we're already up over 1 hour. Lock in 10 points, W's. I could never imagine trading, like catching like 15 points on NQ. I think I'd go insane. Don't start spamming W's for that. One, I never asked for W's in the chat no matter what. But two, if I got W's in the chat for catching 10 points, I would quit trading. Because that is just, I just don't like that at all. Huh? Excuse me? Did I miss something? What was that wick? It just wicked the 80. Now, if that wick fails, I could see, all right, maybe this trade isn't it, you know? Yeah, I don't know what that wick was, but our multiple's crazy right now. Our multiple is absolutely insane for no reason. You know what's insane? If we get, let's just say 100 points on runners, which obviously we are very far away from that would be 10R, which is absurd. Yeah, Zay, we are. If the market wants to explode tomorrow, it easily could. RTY is getting a little yammer, Zay. Your Boothang RTY is going. Short liquidation wick. I mean, what's not? I feel like the wick looks insane because of how tight the stop is and how tight the range is. But that's what, 20 points, 30 points. Yeah, 35. That is honestly nothing, which I feel like just because of how tight the stop is, it's like, oh my God. I enjoy microscoping a super tight stop. Nice. Yeah, I don't hate it if I'm in the mood for it. Shouldn't have went to the beach. No, Zay. Should have stayed. You got today, though. Polar bear, not yet. Cap, yeah, that's where I would just take a trim off. That's where I'm planning on trimming. That's the thing. So far, technically, it is a nice trade. But for me, to be honest, I'm not one to normally just trim because it's at an R multiple. Even though it did hit like over 3, I get it. But the only reason here's my perspective on it too. The only reason the R multiple is that good is because the entry was just absurdly tight. So it's not like a crazy trade. Well, if it does break, will the R multiple be astronomical? Yeah. But it's just because of how tight the overall stop loss is. Appreciate you. Well, no, yeah, MES, thank you. I was just saying I usually don't, I don't credit that. Would this be a nice trade if we trimmed at the highs? Yeah. But for me, it's not a good trade until like positions are actually filled, you know? That's just how I always look at it. If this does slam down, though, it could be that thesis that bears were looking for where we spike over yesterday's high, get that little bit more of an extended wick to the upside, and slam down. I don't know yet, Trade Bop. I really don't know. I'll have to see. Oh, we have Asia in 5 minutes. Well, that'll be fun. Hopefully, we at least close the hourly near the highs so we get a wick up first. Because Asia volatility slammed down. Not going to be the most ideal. All I know is I'm making sure I have hard stops on everything. Okay. GG Asia Vol. Yeah, I mean, at this point with this 5-minute close, I would expect that wick to get hit or that low to get hit just because of how tight the stop is. If it doesn't, cool, but I'm anticipating at this point. Was worth a stab. If it stops. Dude, the wicks on MNQ have been nuts. Like the one at that low is just so much. The one right here is so much farther on MNQ versus NQ. And then it's interesting because the upside wick on NQ hit 84, while on MNQ it hit 80. Yeah, so there's like a 4-point discrepancy there. Done with MNQ never again. Did that wick get you? Gambling my eval, that's the best way to do it. That is the absolute best way to do it. As long as I condone, well, not condone. It's probably a bad word. Probably a bad phrase. I'm okay with gambling evals in the stock market as long as I go into it with the mindset of this is an eval, I'm going to gamble it. I do not like us sitting this close to that stop with Asia session a minute away. If you trade MNQ, why don't you view the MNQ chart? I don't know. I usually just trade NQ. I also don't trade it very often. So I don't, like, that little discrepancy doesn't stick out to me too much because I don't watch it a lot. No, Gamma. Nope. No, I'm not saying that I gamble my evals. I'm saying if I gamble if I get degenerate in the stock market, I do it on evals versus any other account. I trade evals slow. Well, today I did trade one a little aggressive, but for a majority of the time I trade evals slower. I have no problem making $600 on an eval and then running it. 15 is going to be upper wick, close at the lows. I would expect a spike lower. With Asia session, it could easily spike down like here. And yeah, so I'm anticipating that little spike. We'll see though. Unless we get a crazy 50-second candle up, this is going to be a weaker-ish close, not overly weak. But if I want to long this 15-minute candle, I'd expect the lows to spike. If it spikes, I'm willing to bet NQ hits there. Willing to bet that. Joe, probably, brother. Instant stake to the heart or TP once Asia opens. Yeah, most likely. Because even if you get the littlest bit of Asia volatility, you could spike this because it's, what, 52 points? That's nothing. Oh, you normally trade minis? No, Polar Bear, I always trade micros. I do. For mass majority, I trade micros. I just don't trade NQ that much. Yeah, Robert, this is my full time. Trading pays, everything. Like today alone, last night I pulled the $3,000 payout off Tradeify and then made $1,600 on options today. So like that right there covers my entire month of bills. So technically I wouldn't have to work for the rest of the month. And that's kind of how I do it. I don't look for stuff every single day where I have to hit home runs. I just try to go for like a majority of base hits. And then when the opportunity presents itself, I just try to execute on the nicer positions. Low spike higher. Oh, MNQ just nuked that stop loss. Just absolutely nuked it. Oh my. MNQ just slammed down here. All right, so MNQ is a problem child. I'm noting that. That just destroyed that stop loss. Appreciate you, Bash. Yeah, Gamma base hits like 10, 15 points on ES. And on NQ, I mean, I don't know what that would be comparable to. So it'd be like a quarter of it. So maybe 50 on NQ. It'd be like a base hit. Joe, I didn't know it was known for the wicks like that. Which, if this holds, that is going to be disgusting. Good, Fab. It's going good. T-Bot, did you have your stop lower? I mean, it's good to know that now with MNQ. So now I'll just add 10 points to any stop I have. That's all I would do. So I mean, I know a lot of people are gonna like hate it, but I would just put a wider stop. That's disrespectful. That is just straight up disrespectful. Yeah, no, I'm not entering a position. I don't know if anyone's in something. I'm not touching fucking NQ, dude. At least not yet. Give it some time. I was looking at it for a second. I'm like, do I re-enter? Because I was about to. And then it just slammed all the way up, slammed all the way back down. Could have. It's actually just kind of funny. I'm gonna have a great time with NQ. What did I lose on that trade? That MNQ wick skipped my stop. Where was my stop? Oh, that's disgusting. So that MNQ spike down on Lucid filled me at 20. So that filled my eval 14 points lower than my stop was sitting. And that is the very low of the MNQ wick. So I lost like 400 on that one. But it's an eval. I'll make it back. What is this volatility? Asia open. Yeah, job. I think what I'm probably going to do is just trade evals on this stream and just fuck around on those. So I'm in a great mood, but also if I do trade NQ, I don't want to deal with that anymore. So if I trade them, I might just rip some evals. I'm going to wait though. I'm going to let it chill out. Yeah, I was risking like 320 on the Grand Cup account. That MNQ wick with NQ not hitting my stop, I lost 500 on that account. Volatility, love it. And that's the thing too, a lot of people will see stuff like that and they'll tweak out because, oh my God, it filled me with slippage. I mean, I'm on a paper account no matter what in the end with it. So like, I get it. Plus, I'm also trading one of the most volatile assets out there during one of the least volatile or least volume times. You're going to get bad fills, especially on prop firms. That's just slippage. This would be like if it just holds this and then goes, unfortunate. You said you were taking an NQ trade, my jaw dropped. I trade NQ. Most of my NQ trades haven't been on stream. Yeah, well, Joe, not slippage. Slippage got me, but also the MNQ spike. It's happened multiple times in the past. Yeah, I mean, that's like, I knew that happens on MNQ. I just haven't experienced it yet. So, it is what it is. Appreciate you, user. You didn't eval and passed it. Love it. Yeah, I know NQ spikes, which I was positioned for that. It was just the MNQ divergence within it. I'm $8 away from another funded. Polar Bear, you have a chance to make history of the biggest blow up I've ever seen on a funded or on an eval. But what I would do is I was like 22 away from last week, 2 weeks ago. And I just traded one micro ES until it, or I think I traded a micro YM until it filled it. Don't tempt me. Robert, which options trade? Yeah, no, see, Polar Bear, now you're just degenerate. You're scalping one MNQ to make $8. I just showed you 14 points of slippage on a contract. And you go, yep, that's what I want to trade. All right, good luck. User, I missed that part. What was the number on that? I just missed the total. No, I mean, that checks out. I'd get it. It makes sense. I feel like too many people think, like, the people who get really large prop firm payouts don't spend a whole lot. And it's just the farthest from the truth for the most part. No, that's solid R to R. NQ is 1,000% going to go to target without hitting the stop. But NQ is a little dick. It's got edge choice. Yeah, Night Owl. That's why I'm just waiting on NQ. If I take another trade, it'll be later on. Let it chill out a little bit. So let me just messing up my copy accounts. My lead account is $1,000 behind the others. JCap, are you using like a trader sync or something, like between multiple firms, or is you talking between one firm? But 1,000 is crazy. That makes sense. I mean, it's just, I don't know how the fills usually are with that. I would not expect something like Trade Syncer to get me good fills. Especially trading, let's say NQ or MNQ, I would not anticipate good fills in the slightest. It's just something I don't see myself using personally, but I'm sure it helps a lot of people. If I was looking to trade 30 funded accounts together to make a couple $100 a day, I'd use it. But to me, I trade a lot less accounts. What you talking about, Besh? You said take loss and stop profit. Huh? Yes. I'm risking $1,500 to make $8. That's solid risk to reward there, brother. Solid. You got me beat, and I thought that entry was a sniper entry. Yeah, JCap, it's going to be more so the volatility. Because if you really think about it, NQ's seeing 2, 3, 4, 500 point moves. So when you have that and you're trying to trade from a third party into multiple different brokers and sending the orders to all of them on prop firms, on paper accounts, I feel like you're not going to get the greatest fills. But there's got to be like the pro and con with it. Pro, you can trade 60 accounts together. Con, your fills might not be perfect, you know? I've also seen someone trading on, I don't know exactly what thing it was, so I'm not going to like say names just because I don't know what copy trader it was. But they were trading one of their main account, put a stop loss, and it didn't copy trade it, and they blew like 25 accounts. because it only put it on one account. I saw that and I'm like, it ain't worth it. I'll just use different tabs. Because what I do is I just have tabs open on the top of my screen. If I want to open, I'll copy trade within brokers. Let's say I'm trading evals and I want to take it on multiple. I'll just click a different tab and I'll enter. You're usually not going to see that big of a discrepancy unless you enter on some parabolic candle like this, but on NQ, obviously. Yeah, Besh. I mean, it'd be tough to have that happen, obviously, if you have that many blown. But at that point, it's just like, it's you can't get mad at it because I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't be confident in it giving me great fills. Night Owl, what are you talking about, brother? You just keep talking about getting edged, and I have no clue what you're talking about. If you're talking about on this initial spike up, it was likely a low volume spike. Oh, if it crossed 3 times, I don't know. I was going to say, if it was like up here, there may have just not been enough orders to quote unquote fill it, like the way the market moves. But if it got hit 3 times, yeah, I couldn't tell you. No clue. No, Besh, most of my charting and trading comes from like the 4 hour. But the ones I'm using for this session, for the most part, are just the prior day's highs and lows, the opening print. And that's how I usually trade. If I want to get like down and dirty looking at NQ, I'm going to go to this chart. This is the chart that I do my weekly breakdown on every single week. You can see I have broader levels marked out that I'm paying attention to. And those are the only big pivot areas that I really care about on NQ until we get outside of that. But no, I don't use Greeks for levels. By that, I feel like you're probably talking Gamma, which that would be more so Mitch. We do have 212 people in the chat. First off, I appreciate y'all for being here. A little Friday session for us, technically. At 150 likes, we're going to be giving away a 50K Tradify account. So hit the like button, show some love, help us get some reach, like the stream. I would put up a banner I have for the giveaway, but it says 200. And I'm being nice today and only making it 150. What do the levels mean to you? The levels to me are just broader pivots where I'm likely to see some support or resistance. I just look back at all the prior price action, see where the broader pivots that have been respected are, and I mark those out on futures. But also, someone asked earlier if I can go over my options trade, and I don't know what. I'm assuming you're talking about Baba, but I'm not sure. Yeah, Besh, with options, I just use primarily the mastermind system within the Discord. I wish I could target 510 on ES. Why can't you, Gael? I mean, you can. You could easily target 510 on ES. Oil looks weaker. Gold's obviously still bearish. Indices are stronger here. Hourly inside bar. ES looks like it wants to break. NQ on the lower time frames actually looks pretty solid. I hope someone took this trade on NQ and didn't get stopped out. I hope someone's still in that trade. Because the risk to reward is just criminal. Yeah, Gael, I mean, I can see that. The hard part is, like, I usually don't like just anticipating a large pullback off yesterday's highs. For the most part, I'll just watch how it reacts to it. And if I'm worried about it, I'll just move my stop into profit if needed. At the same time, though, we do have YM breaking yesterday's highs, NQ above yesterday's highs. ES and RTY are still below. If all four get above, I would expect a trending Friday. And then I'll probably look back at Baba and be like, damn, shouldn't have sold. Come on. Yeah, well, if anyone's listening to the chart in past time or the stream, hit the little refresh button. You're probably not going to hear it for like 5 to 10 minutes. Just make sure you're live. Jay, I was just waiting on a little bit. I think for me, if I trade NQ, like I'm very tempted to just evals. But I mean, I like the setup right now. Like entry 70, stop 45. The problem is yes, it's in this consolidation, but it's being decently volatile within this consolidation, which is what I'm not in love with. It also doesn't just help. I got 14 points of slippage on the last trade we entered. So I'm probably being a little too cautious. That's why I'm likely going to evals. Do it on the cup account. I mean, on the cup account, I legit just have to full port all day tomorrow, no matter what. And I don't even know if I want to trade New York tomorrow. So I'm probably just going to be like out of the cup, especially after just getting yeeted for 500 more bucks there. Is anyone in the top 1,000 in the Tradeify Cup? There's got to be someone in here in it. At least one. $29.05. Okay. Night Owl, what are you? I'm top 20 worst trader of all time. Hell yeah, Joe. Take that medal proud. I'm sorry. The top trader someone just yeeted their thing. Where'd he go? Yeah, he has $56,000 in profit in 4 trading days with $2,000 of drawdown. This guy was in first yesterday, so that means that man made at least 15, 20K today. Like tonight's session. Because I checked before stream started. I don't know what that man yeeted. No, Gael, it's not, this thing is not possible. If you caught the lows on NQ, you can only trade one contract. That's 2,800 or 2,800 bucks. So I don't know what he's trading, but man's got to be cheating. Unless he just closed the trade. My thought would be he probably closed the trade from yesterday and they just updated it. Yeah, Rise silver. That's what a lot of people are trading. Everybody's trading silver. Cup allows bot trading. Does it? I would think he caught the move as well. That's what I would lean towards. Trade WAP. It's nice, But bro, can we have a moment of silence with music, obviously, for this right here? The stop never hit, but MNQ is just a straight piece of shit, and we got hit. Damn. Well, if anyone took it on NQ, maybe you didn't get slipped out. Maybe you're still in. Maybe someone had a slightly wider stop. See, good example. Build your own trade plan, follow it. Don't trade exactly what I do. You'll get wicked out by MNQ. Let's go, Mudbutt. Where'd you get in at? But I hope someone took that entry. Because that, what's funny is it's 55 points. And that's a 5R trade. 29.5. Damn. Well, probably like right here in this break. Ish. Somewhere around there. Or all the way back here. Those are probably your only two options. Unless you bought this wick, maybe. All right, let's see if there's divergence here on MNQ. Oh, now there's no divergence or discrepancy between NQ and MNQ. Interesting, Victoria. Oh, you entered at? So you entered when I got stopped out. You dick. You bought my contract. Nice trade. Permits the use of personal trading bots. That's weird. That's weird. I'm feeling next week's going to be very interesting on social media. Because all of the people that are the outlaws are all bigger, mainly bigger social media traders. So like, I want to see Big Daddy Max versus Jake. Still waiting for your setup on gold? You know, if I took like a bad loss, I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna time you out for 5 minutes. But no, respectable. If I have to get stopped out on some of my accounts so you guys can thrive, I'll take one for the team today. I'll take that L to the chin. Just for you. How we doing on likes? We're at 109. There's 200 of you in here. I have a feeling probably like 70 of you guys have liked it. If 41 of you can get together and hit the like button, I'll do a giveaway right now. Right now. But we got to hit 150. And I'm being honest. If we don't hit 150, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And I'll be strict this time. I'm not doing it. Just because 150 should be easy. Joe, I feel like they're completely different traders. So it depends on the price action that day. And I feel like a lot of next week is going to depend on the price action. Imagine we spend a day where it's just going to be sideways action for the first 4 hours of New York Open. And so many people are probably just going to get smoked. Yeah, no matter what, I'm going to be keeping up with it just because it's going to be cool to watch. I just thought about it. I feel like if I made top 1,000, it would probably be bad. Because I don't sleep a crazy amount as is. If I'm in a 24-hour trading competition against someone else, well, every time I sleep, I'm losing opportunity. I'm losing that edge to get above. You got to make money while your competition sleeps. Job, the next series of the Tradeify Grand Cup is next week. So like the next stage of it. Oil getting a little spicy up here. Coming into the open. Huh. Interesting. I would end up over trading, blowing my account. I mean, I feel like that's gonna be the case for people. Like, let's say you go up against that dude who's like one of the top people in the competition right now. Like, you barely skated by, made 10 or 11K, whatever the threshold is, and you got in. And you're going up against someone who the very first day of the competition made 26K and then just didn't trade again. Like, that person's probably going to wake up at 9 a.m. Eastern to trade New York. Be like, I'm ready for this competition. The other guy's already going to be up 15 grand. I'd be like, you know what? It's over. Lost that one. We're sitting in a consolidation, but I do like the potential of a higher low on NQ. The 15 minute is ugly, but it's likely going to push higher in this next minute to give it a stronger close. Especially with that 2 minute. If it pushes any higher, you get a stronger 15 minute close. With this 5 minute looking like this, you'd likely go spike those highs. Oil might get a strong pop here with that hourly. Hourly closes in 30 minutes, brother. So it depends. You mean with this consolidation? The next 30 minutes determine all of oil. The 15 and the 30 are going to look phenomenal for oil. It's just, are we going to hold above the open? Because if we lose the open, we then fail to go higher on the hourly. With a 4 hour inside bar, so it really doesn't matter. So that's likely going to remain an inside bar. Gold still looks shitty. I don't know. What does the 4 hour look like? The unfortunate thing is if the indices push any lower, the chance of us staying in this area grows exponentially. Like exponentially. I would want to see the indices break high of day rather quickly here to get us out of, like, guaranteed out of this range. Yes, Joe, they are. Just because I don't like the look of them. Like, I like the blue and white, but I don't like the look of them if the white is white and not blue. Oh, I don't even have that as white. Huh. Interesting. What's a weird flex? Polar Bear, I haven't had 5 in a while at the same time. Usually I'm around like 3. Right now I'm at 3. But I also have 6 evals that I'm working on. The translucent candles. The translucent candles are sick. I love them. Yeah, so I'm working my way up. My goal is to get 5, like 3 to 5 with Tradeify and Lucid and just trade those. Who do I trust? Gael, none of them. If they're both moving up together, I don't trust nothing. Polar Bear, the way I would do it, because I've been copy trading 2 Tradeifys together, so I'm likely just going to leave those. Unless I get in a bad stint where I'm just taking losses, then I'll probably split them because I don't want to blow both if I'm going to blow one. What I do is I don't trade the entire prop firm together for the most part. So any over 2, I start like that. The third one I have on Tradeify, I'm trading that solo. Yes, technically I got stopped because of slippage on the micros. But no, my end goal is to probably trade 2 to 3 together. Probably 2 on one firm, 3 on the other, and then just like do little lots of it, like 2 to 3 each. No, trade off. I don't have like an eval budget. I mean, I know if I'm going off a cliff spending evals, but I usually don't. Like, I have no problem just grinding the evals out if needed. But it's also because I don't yeet evals. Like on my actual eval that I took that NQ on, I think I lost 400 because of slippage. So it's not like I'm risking the entire account on it. Nice, Bash. I'm glad to hear you made that back. Just if it's your first one, don't try to pass it super fast. Just take it slow. Number one thing to remember is time does not matter on prop firms, even though it is in the rules, right? You can pass in 2 days, you can pass in 3 days, 5 days, get a payout in this amount of time. Yes, all of the time slots are there, but if you ignore them, trading gets a hell of a lot easier. Just like me, for the most part, I ignore consistency. As long as it's at least the growth account, which is 35%. If it's anything below that, first off, I want nothing to do with that account. But second of all, a lot of times I'm going to go towards something like the Lucid Flex where you don't really have to worry about consistency. But I just trade how I trade. If it works, it works. If not, I end up blowing it. But yeah, trade off. I don't set it money aside, but I definitely make sure I don't go full degen. Like I'm not blowing 10 evals a week. You know what I mean? And even if I do, like, let's say I have these 6. And let's just rhetorically say 5 of them I yeet into oblivion and I have 1 left. I'm not going to reload 5. I would probably trade that 1 to try to pass it and then just go slower again with them. You're not trying hard enough. No, Kakarov, I used to yeet 20 at a time on Apex, so I've learned. That's my first ever alpha account. Let's go, Night Owl. See, all the yelling in caps worked for you, brother. I love how you put the entire sentence caps, and then the word my is just lowercase. Took the time out of your day to make sure my was lowercase. Yeah, Joe, for me, like if that works for you, run it. You know me, I'll never tell someone how to trade. I don't like max trading stuff. I don't. Like I don't full port even on evals for the most part, unless the last degen hours I did. Have you saw it? Appreciate you, Night Owl. After hours, no. And this is something I'm transparent about. I haven't been live on a firm. Because most of the time in the past, I'll get like 2-3 payouts. And then I'll usually have like one bad day where the account will be in jeopardy. And at that point, I'm just like, well, this account's either going to make it back on this trade or is GG's. Probably not the greatest mindset, but most of the time I'll also have another funded that I can rock. No, I would like to. That's part of the main goal of working up towards 3 to 5 fundeds on the accounts. Is just compound them over time and don't do like exponential risk and just see if I can get to that live aspect. Man, I wouldn't say I'm like freakishly strong. But no, I worked on a farm when I was younger. It wasn't my parents, but it was like my best friend growing up. It's 29,611. I don't know. I mean, what are you getting the target off of? I would love to see 633. That probably would have been my second area of interest. And then over that, I probably would have held the runners to the moon or stop loss. Polar Bear, I don't have a profit. I don't have one set profit target range for trades. I set my accounts, like right now, all of my fundeds on Tradeify are set to kick me out at $1,200, which I think is more than the consistency should be. But last time it was 1,900, so I don't want to do that again. But they're set at 1,200. I'm not looking to make 1,200. If I make 500, cool. If I make 400, okay. If I make 800, sick. You know what I mean? It's just, if I get up there, it's kind of like a threshold where, all right, you're at this point. Now you just can't make more so you don't mess it up. And that's how I view it. But I'm just looking to trade. If I find a really nice setup where I think there's a lot of potential, I'll enter it, let runners run. There's also going to be times where you take some type of entry and you may just be a quicker trade, like a 30-minute trade, in, out, whatever you got, you got. There's also times I'll take like a few micros just trading. Just log a day. Yeah, Eldred, I did. I took it back to the pond. That little dude crawled, like that turtle crawled like 200 meters from the pond, which is kind of crazy. I would say it's just the NASDAQ being itself. I mean, the main reason I haven't taken another trade on it yet is just the 5-minute volatility. Every single candle is spiking the prior consolidation area and then slamming back up, or spiking the high of the session, then slamming back down. That's not something I'm overly dying to get in. If we get a little bit of a trending price action, I'm in. I'm interested. All day interested. But I don't like how it's reacting. I also don't like oil being strong alongside the indices. Y'all know what I talk about with negative correlation. Something's likely going to rotate. It's just, what is it going to be? ES is currently also struggling at yesterday's high, so you want to keep an eye on that level. If we get above it, we have 3 of the 4 indices above yesterday's high. Could see a nice little continuation there. If we reject it hard and NQ gets back below yesterday's highs, not good. I'm from Ohio. Turtle soup, yep. Yeah, Ollie, at first I thought it was a painted turtle, which if people don't know about turtles, painted turtles are nice, friendly turtles. No, it was a snapper turtle, which if you don't know, if you stick your finger near those things, you'll have one less finger. So I had to get a bucket and a shovel, and I put him in there and took him back to the pond because I wasn't touching his ass. Ever been to Australia? No, but I want to. Hopefully ES dumps. Just got some shorts on NQ. All right, we're flipping a little more bearish. Where'd that pole go? I can't view the pole. There we go. All right, so what did the poll sit at? 78% bullish, 22% bearish. So far, bulls are right. So far. Doing well. I'm going to end that one in case I want to open another one. Tag him said horny bear. AXP, knowing you, yeah, you're going to go for that crazy reversal if it happens to end the week. How'd you do this week, brother? Eldred, most people don't realize that. But with a snapping turtle, if you just grab the shell, like the back of its shell, it can still bite you. So that's why I just don't even mess with them, because they're also fast. 5-minute wicks are nasty. Lock myself out. Smart. Very smart. That is why I am off of my fundeds completely. I'll trade my fundeds next week. Probably going to not trade New York on futures tomorrow. Worst case, I'll yeet the trade if I Grand Cup. I mean, this is the last day. What does ending with profit do to me? Nothing. So, got to be a hero zero trade in there somewhere. I need 10 bands or nothing. I don't even think there'd be a trade that could make 10 bands. Snapping turtles top 3 worst. Spencer, it definitely depends on size, but agreed. Fully agreed. Who's that? Okay. So that's an eval. That needs to be. Let me make sure I set the thresholds right. So it'd be 39.50. What kind of that? 706. I did see, by the way, that we were very close to the giveaway. We're close. Very. We need 13 likes and I'll do the Tradify 50K giveaway. Candlestick, I can only imagine. The thing about Florida, though, you have the alligator snapping turtles, which I don't know why that thing needs to exist. I've seen those before, not in person, but I don't understand why those need to exist in the world. Hell, the 100-pound turtles that can take your leg off? No, fuck that thing. Wasn't there a Turtles Future? Gael, I don't think so. Because is there a turtle selling market besides pets? What up, Esso? AXP is looking for 29,200 to end the week. 200. So just down back at the lows of the 4-hour range. Weekly. Yeah. I mean, I could see it. I'll be honest, I don't love it. But you probably see a vision that I just don't see. For me, though, if we reject the 4-hour, like if this 4-hour slams down still, it still has time to break the lows, then I'd be like, all right, now it might get ugly. Stark, that's crazy. If I win the account, I'm eating turtle futures. All right. I'll screenshot that. Is that what you have to? Yes. No. Not at all. Do I think the NQ is going to dump here? No. Could it? Yes. Do I think so? No. I think we continue to slowly trend higher for the moment. Yeah, AXP. That's like when you very first joined too. That's why I was like, this dude's delusional. I'm like, he doesn't know what he's doing the first day. I was, of course, yeah, I'm gonna say that because you shorted the random spike high. With, I mean, you had a crazy entry, but then you're like, I'm targeting 800 points, and I'm like, fucking excuse me, 800, and it went what, like 400. Something like that overnight, 400 to 500. And at that point, I was like, okay, maybe this guy knows something. Maybe he knows what he's talking about a little bit. Because you also got to take every new trader in the chat with a grain of salt. So like, if you just go to Jake's stream and know exactly what I mean. Everybody knows something. All I found is Turtle USDT. What the hell is Turtle USDT? On me grind. Did you just type enter because we hit 150? No. You typed enter and we only hit 149. So can't do the giveaway yet. Sorry. Oh, polar bear. You immediately let me know 150. I'm loading it up. I'm getting there. Dude, everybody in Jake's chat thinks they're professional traders. Now, mind you, there are probably some great traders in there. And you could be a full professional trader. But Jake doesn't need anybody's advice on how to trade. Not in the slightest. He doesn't give a shit what chat says about his trades. Giveaway. All right. So we're going to be giving away a 50K traded by account. So 50K. I can't type right now. When the bot starts. When, not yet, but when. Only advice you need is to stop looking at chat. Agreed. User, I honestly don't know. But to be honest, I really don't care what, like, I really don't care what people's P&L were. If they want to tell me, cool. But I'm never like, oh my God, this trader didn't show his P&L from last year. Like, it's kind of a lose. Give me a second and then I'll start it. But it's kind of a lose-lose. Because Jake could say what he makes. But then he's just going to have a mass amount of people saying, Cap, show me every single trade log. Show me this, show me that. I don't believe it. It's all fake, paper trading, this and that. And at the end, it's just not worth it. I feel like there's a prove it stage that people go through in trading. And Jake's well past that, beyond it. Sold. How do we enter to win? Right here. To enter, type exclamation mark enter in chat once I start the giveaway. Exactly, Eldred. Yeah, that's the thing. He has nothing to prove because it's all done live. You're getting 5 minutes. Hang on real quick. I know I keep stalling you guys. You're going to get pissed. I get it. Patrick, my main strategy is the rake trades, like core foundation of it, which is in the Discord, but I use multi-time frame analysis and then like chart structure and levels from the structure of the chart on the higher time frames. But mainly multi-time frame analysis, which is just looking at all the time frames. And I'm really big on divergences and correlations and negative correlations. Just comparing a bunch of different charts. Anyways, if you have more questions, right after the giveaway, ask them. For now, though, there you go. You have 5 minutes. When's the last time you tilted? 2 or 3 weeks ago, I sent a funded to the moon. They're like late night. I think it was Polar Bear that asked. It was a day I did good on stream, but I didn't trade that funded. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna make some on this. And I think I tried to trade like gold around like midnight, and it just was not a good time. It was like stuck in a range. I was getting used to trading gold. I put like one whole mini on. Did not expect to lose like $600 immediately. Did, and I was like, what the hell just happened? And then it was just a downhill spiral against that account versus gold. And I did not fucking win that battle. They happen occasionally though, but I keep them very well to like one account. It does. I'm not perfect. And I'll say that through and through every day. I'm not perfect. I have a long way to go in my trading. I don't think I'm anywhere remotely near my peak. Yeah, no, I get it. Yep. Anyways, type exclamation mark enter to enter the giveaway. I'm giving away one traded by 50K growth. With that though, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. Wait, do you reset fund accounts? Victoria, when I get back, I'm gonna answer that. I'm gonna screenshot it just so I have it. Just so I don't forget. And also in case it needs to be clipped for anything. Actually, I'll just put this in my Discord. All right, let me catch back up on chat. I've lost so many emails to midnight gold trades. It's insane. Gamma, you're telling me, brother. And the problem is, You do well on one gold trade, and you're like, holy shit, this is the best thing in the world. And then it's just downhill. Antonio, I don't right now. I actually haven't drank since the New York meetup, which most fab, you should have already gotten a ticket. Even if you don't get a reply, you likely did, brother. I guarantee you're probably in there. There are currently 99 people in there. Most fab, you are on it. You are literally one of the top people I see in the list. I'm not scrolling the list. He's just sitting on top. But I used to have a big Guinness kick for like 6 months to a year. Back when I was a welder, I would drink Guinness, like one Guinness a night just for the hell of it. But now I just don't drink as much because I was also never like a self drinker. Like I wouldn't really get home and be like, all I want is a beer. It just didn't interest me. So I would do it a little bit, but not for the most part. It was mainly with buddies though. I would drink a lot of Guinness. Right, I'll be back in like 30 seconds. I might make a cutscene when I take a break like that, where all you guys just see is the sign behind me. So just a little zoom in on the sign. You guys get to view that. 16 seconds. The giveaway's over. Only 118 of you guys are in. Congrats, Hysteric. I mean, I disagree in that sense. Because I would assume that you likely had a problem with drinking if it's something you remember the exact date you quit. So I would say that that's sober. Just because you smoke, I wouldn't necessarily say like that's a bad thing in general, you know? Aman, what do you mean? Am I going to use AI to help me make the sign? No, what I would do is quite literally just crop the screen and move my chair out of the way and just let it show that. I tried to have AI make that sign in a reel so I could like use it as a pop-up. It changed the sign to say free hugs. And I'm not even joking. I have a picture on my phone of it somewhere. How do I find this playlist? This playlist is this. It said free hugs on the sign. Like I made a video, like I was making a reel about the sign and the AI changed it completely and said that. I was like, what the hell? I will be, the giveaway's over. I will pick it in a sec, but AXP, every fucking time you, like the past few days, you've been in trades and you're like, Trump's tweeting tonight. I know it. Is that your main thing right now? You're waiting for that one tweet? I caught them Monday. I mean, I know you catch them, but just every time it's, this tweet. Obviously, you know I'm just joking. Anyways, the winner is Malik. Malik, are you here? Me? Not today, Spence. Hell yeah, Malik. The link right above your message. Appreciate you guys for putting that in there. Or Ali. Click that. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. Just let me know that you won. Send me your YouTube so I can confirm it to you, and we're good. AJ, it could be a lot of things. I mean, dead but not dead. It's comparison there. ES is up 20 points. That's not bad. Is it slow right now? Yeah, 1000%. But there's also times where it's exponentially great. It's just Asia session. A majority of the time, you're going to have slower price action where you get ranges, a little bit of trend, and then some ranges. And then other times, you're going to get the exponential volatility. So it just depends on the session. But yeah, a lot of the times, not a lot, a decent amount of time, Asia will have slower price action, especially when you're going into the weekend, into a long holiday. My name's Malik. I'm sure it is. Also, those that don't know, this is a long weekend. I don't know if I'll be on Sunday because it's a half day. Yeah, half day for Memorial Day. So enjoy the weekend. We'll see. I'll update somewhere if I'm on. But to be honest, I'd lean more towards no. Because the market's closed, and I feel like it's not going to be great price action. Victoria, you and me both. You and me both. I hate long weekends. I do. Because I can't trade. I love trading. Polar Bear, I try not to for the most part. If I see something that is like, holy hell, I need to put some risk on this, I'll take it. But I don't go into Friday saying, hell yeah, I want to be in 0 DTEs. I'm excited for this. Because I think a majority of my options losses are from 0 days. And me just being degenerate with them. So I don't love trading them for the most part. Like if I trade a Mag 7 name, I'm likely trading Monday expirations. Well, Wednesday expiration because Monday doesn't exist next week. But there's days like today on IWM. I took 0 days. Antonio, I don't have anything planned this weekend. To be honest, probably just going to chill out because I've had a busy ass week. So I'm probably just going to chill for the most part. I'm subscribing. Appreciate you, Soul. Welcome to the family. Yeah, I just had a really busy weekend this week. So, this week. So I'm probably just going to chill out a little bit. Enjoy. Michael golfing. You know, my brother talked about that. Michael hit a tee time for the first time this year. Dude, AXP, nice try. Ron, my account from yesterday got caught in a range trade at 10:30 when that one boner kick came out. Platform froze. Top of that, I got slipped $300 over daily loss limit. Mike, that'll happen even if it doesn't freeze. The last time I did DGen hours, I got $400 worth of slippage on the account. Yes, Malik. Yep. If you just do exclamation point wrong, that'll give you the link. Would you take a long here? No. I'll look deeper into the NQ in a second, but just right off the bat, looking at this chart now, could work. We're hitting yesterday's highs. If we hold it, we can. Problem for me is we had ES already fail yesterday's highs, but YM is holding. Yeah, I mean, I could see it playing out, but I'm not like staring at this chart like I need to enter along right here. I'll look at the higher time frames in a second once I get through the question. There was another question somewhere that I was looking at. Oh yeah, the slippage. Yeah, Mike, that happened to me on the last DGen hours I did. The Tradeify loss limit is 1250 on a 50K. I lost 1700 or 1650 on that account. I was also in 3 minis, I think, on it, so it was understood, but it slipped hard. I'm about to start copy trading ASP. The one thing I will say is if you try, just know nothing that happens is his fault. Cheers for pushing buttons. Are shoes required to golf? Yes, they are. Because if not, well, I mean, dude, if you could golf barefoot, I probably would. I hate wearing shoes. That's why I'm glad we live where we live now, because I'll walk outside barefoot. Oh, we know AXP. We know. Whichever gets the bag. Yep. Let's look at the higher time frames. No, I'm not interested in longs for this reason and this reason alone. NQ had a big hourly fail to go higher. To me, that's not a candle that I'm like, hell yeah, I desperately want to long that. Because now, if you think about it, the 4 hours starting to get a little bit of an upper wick. Gets in that little bit of skeptical territory. We're safe until below 521.50s. This fucking light, dude. This fucking light. I gotta figure out what it is, or if it's the plug I'm using. Because these little cubes, oh, you can't even see. Let me grab a new cube. I have 2 cubes that I'm rotating currently. Because these little cubes are like 80 degrees right now. It's like a little hand warmer. Probably not good. T-Bot, I absolutely love that. I love that more than you know. And I appreciate that. Because something most people don't know is I do an entire weekly breakdown. Now just for the Discord. I used to post it myself. There's a chance I might start doing it for like free for a little bit. But it's primarily for the Discord and Discord only. And let me pull it up real quick. So I do this every week for those that don't know. I break down like a full broad market, like recap of last week, broad market, and then analysis for all of these futures names plus the economic calendar. And it's 12 pages every week. And I do that every weekend. T-Bot, in the beginning, I did it for free. I did it for free for a couple months, actually, which is why I thought about going back to it. You have to be careful with neon signs, fire hazards. They're fire hazards if you touch the light. If you get oil on the light, that's when they can pop. Eventually, yes, that sign will pop. But at that point, I just won't turn the sign on anymore when I start to see it glow. And an easy way, because I used to use we used to have not the fluorescent bulbs, whatever the bulbs are, like that in heat lamps when I was a welder. And we had to change them eventually because they would randomly explode, which was wild. You just be sitting there eating lunch and one just starts shooting flames out the side or sparks out the side of it. You're like, oh, gotta fix that. Yeah, just don't touch it. But if you ever have a sign like that, because that's not LED, that's more like bar sign neon, and you start to see one spot get brighter than the rest, be very careful. All right, Malik, sick. Doesn't let me attach an image yet. Yeah, I have to accept your friend request. I'm just gonna make sure I know it's you. Okay, I'm gonna assume you're the person named Malik that just messaged me. Yeah, I'll get you after stream. What up, the Ripper? Couple years back, yeah, T-Bot, that might have been when I was doing it, because it was right before I started posting it in the Discord that I was doing it free. I think so, Job. What was I going to talk about? That's what it is. All right, I'm gonna pause music for a sec and go to this, just so I can go to my Yap charts. I'll put music back on right after. Do a backflip. I will break my neck. If I try to do a backflip, my neck will be snapped. I can't jump that high. I know my legs are decent, but I got to grow them a lot bigger to do that. No, Victoria asked me earlier, do I reset funded accounts? And I strongly Just my personal preference, I strongly disagree with that. Because when you look at, I don't see a pro in it unless, let's just say you're overly consistent. You just made one mistake and you're perfectly fine. You know, you'll get that payout. Like you have the confidence in your strategy and everything like that. But the way you're likely going to reset a funded account is you're someone who's consistent and you just, let's say, made a mistake. And that funded account is going to cost you $500-$600 to reset. Well, at that point, it'd be a lot cheaper to buy a couple evals if you're that confident, work those up and get, let's say, 3 funded accounts for that exact same price. Factoring, obviously, let's say you blow 2 of the 5, right? The other thesis that people might think is if you're not that consistent of a trader and you get to the funded phase and you're like, oh my God, I just blew my funded and it's the first one I got in 3 months. I need to reset it. No. That is actually where I disagree the most. Because at that point, if you're at the point where you're struggling to get funded and you blow that funded, what are you likely going to do when you reset it? At that point, you're going to now pay $500-$600 to reset that funded and likely blow it again. So I don't see the overall pros in it. Unless, let's say, you have some account where you have some huge uncapped payout, but even TPT, I believe their accounts are overly expensive as well. So I just don't love the thought and the idea of resetting fundeds. I would much rather just buy more evals, trade those for a few days, get them to funded, and just rerun the process. Because in the end, it's going to be a lot cheaper either way. And if you get multiple evals for that $500-$600 that would cost you to reset, that payout, let's say you trade them together, your risk is essentially going to be the same at that point. But then you have a chance of 2, 3, 4 times the payout. $1,500 for a reset? That's criminal. That is criminal. I'm going to guess that's TPT. If that's TPT, not criminal because they have the uncapped payout aspect. I understand it from their perspective. I get that wholeheartedly. If you have a chance where you can make 10K, then I get why they're like, you know what, we're going to charge you $1,500 just in case you get that 10K. I get that. For most cases, though, I don't agree with resetting them. See you later, AXP. Yeah, hysteric. I've wanted to learn how to do a backflip. I've just never tried it. I also know you jump up instead of backwards, which most people try to do. $1,500 for a $2,000 drowner, you might as well fund yourself. That's true. Well, no, I think with the 150Ks, you get 4,500, but still. Yeah, Antonio, that can be an outlier where, let's say you have a bunch of TPTs and you just blow one of the accounts and you're like, all right, the other ones I'm getting payouts on, I'm just going to reset that one. Cool. But that likely leans more towards the person who's quote unquote gaming the prop firms where you're doing really well. Let's just, once again, let's just use Zach for an example. Zach has a lot of payouts this year where, let's just say he was bad on one TPT account of his TPTs. He's like, I'm going to reset this one because he has the payouts to do it. And he's been trading well enough that it makes sense. But for 99.8% of the people, maybe even 99.99, it doesn't make sense. Just the cost perspective of it. Because the risk is huge there at that point. Because a TPT eval is what? $150? So yeah, I mean, that's just my whole perspective. Someone may have the complete polar opposite perspective and they may say, I reset all my fundings. It's just from the way I view it, I just don't see enough of a pro for it to work. Let's say most accounts too. If I get one of these accounts funded, or like the funded I got last night, it cost me $100, I think less. If I get a payout on that, it's $1,500 with the 50K on Tradeify. That's 15R. Where if I reset for 500, it goes down to 3. So like even a broader risk to reward perspective is skewed. Polar Bear, something most people don't know is the 50K accounts have the greatest drawdown to profit target out of all of the accounts. That is why so many people trade them, at least on the bigger scale. Because you have 2,000 drawdown, 3,000 profit. Let's say you go up to the 150 accounts. Those are 4,500 drawdown, 9,000 profit. It's 2 to 1 at that point. Where the 50K is what, 1.3? So it's a huge discrepancy between them. Giveaway Ripper, we did one. Oh, I forgot to tell people during the giveaway to like the stream. Damn, messed up. The thing for me with the 150K is, depending on what your risk is and what your trade is, it's where I get a little skewed on it. Because yes, the profit target's 9K, but if you're not trading 3-4 minis, then I feel like it's not worth it. Because at that point, let's just say you trade 1 or 2 minis, or the micro equivalents to it. What I would think, at least the way my brain goes, is that's 2 payouts on a 50K by the time you even pass that 150. So that's where I'm like, all right. Yeah, the 25K is 1 to 1. It's just 1,500 is pretty tight for a lot of people on a stop. If you want to use smaller size, yes. But also for like the larger potential payouts overall, I like the 50K compared to the 25. T-Bot, I agree. One thing I also do that I've done for a while is I'll look at trading compared to like real life things. And there's times I joke about it and times I'm like serious about it, where I'll look at a trade and I'm like, all right, do I really want to risk this month's rent on this type of setup? Like, is this setup worth me risking my month of rent? And if not, then I'm like, all right, well, that kind of brings it into perspective and it's not that good of a setup. But there's also times when I bought my brake stuff, I was joking around in Discord. I'm like, I just went minus 2R on New York session buying brakes and tools for my car. Because I spent like $600 on it. Did you long it, Gael? If you did, congratulations. Polar Bear, I feel like it brings it into more of a perspective, like the monetary value of the dollar. Because trading is one of the easiest ways to lose touch with the overall value of like the dollar. Because I know I have in the past. I know I've had trades where I'm like, I'm only up $500, whatever. $500 used to be what I make in like 2 or 3 days. That makes sense. Yeah. It is PM time. It is 9:16 PM. It's already been 2 hours. Damn. Do you prefer New York or Asia? I have really preferred the Asia session, like the 7 PM to like midnight session a lot. And that's the main thing I've traded this week. Like until today, I didn't touch New York once. And then I took some options and some futures today. But outside of that, I haven't even really traded New York. Bottom ticked 497. Down here, hell yeah, nice trade. Beautiful trade. How did that hourly close? Oh yeah, we already looked at that one. Still stronger. YM's a powerhouse right now. Strongest hourly close there is. I think I could see YM go towards yesterday's or all-time highs. Like if it's not today is in like Friday session. Early next week, I would anticipate all-time highs to be smoked on the YM. Could be some good potential tomorrow on DIA options. Yeah, Gael, agreed. Even like just, I love that perspective from you though. Like you're saying making $100 in 15 minutes is crazy. That's a beautiful perspective to have. Because in theory, that's $400 an hour. I'd work for $400 an hour anyway, easily. So why would I have an issue doing it when I'm doing it from literally my house, sitting at a computer, you know? But no, I'm glad you have that perspective. Good morning from Indonesia. Hell yeah, welcome. Something I do love to do. Anyone who's active in chat, I want to hear it. Where are you guys from? Could be state, could be country, because I'm sure a lot of you aren't from the US. So let's see where everyone's from like the chat. I just want a broader perspective. You could even just say US. You don't even have to say state. Okay, Canada, Australia, Ecuador, near Gettysburg, Dominican Republic, Vietnam, the Rabbit Hole, beautiful. I know that place, been there before. Vancouver, Houston, Atlanta, a lot of Canada, a lot of Canada. Wisconsin, Dallas. Gael, I don't care about where you're from. I don't care about it. I already know where you're from. It's the only one I don't care about. 2023 champs, you mean 3 years ago? To be fair, that championship has a huge asterisk next to it. Should be taken away. Should be. Shouldn't count. Cheating scandal. 3 years. From the North Pole. Polar Bear checks out. Fucking checks out. Can use day trading as a business write-off to offset some hefty taxes we pay up here. Interesting. I'm not starting this. We won fair. You didn't though. You didn't. One fair and square. Michigan cheating scandal, October 2023. Weird. It's the year you won. Weird how that lines up. You're from Italy? Hell yeah. Cavs are trying to put on for the city of Cleveland tonight. Are they doing well? I have not paid attention to the Cavs, dude. I'm the worst Cavs fan in the world because I'm not a Cavs fan. But the worst. Oh, Gael, you guys just stopped cheating then? Is that what it was? You ever golf? Sawmill Creek? I want to. There's something a lot of people don't know is there's a lot of really good golf courses in Ohio, and I want to hit a bunch of them up. They got rid of all the evidence. That makes it even worse. So 2023 was the cover up and you guys happen to win. Sure. Did it logically. Anyway, talking football, Gael, I saw someone post a picture of like Alabama's current wide receivers on a bench. And the caption was, "This picture will make everyone forget about Ohio State's wide receivers." And I'm like, that might be the most delusional comment I've ever seen in my entire life. Kyle and I are almost neighbors. That's sick. It is completely delusional because no matter what, everyone has to agree Ohio State is like the wide receiver U. I'm just praying to see Notre Dame championship in my life. Pray hard, Gamma. After seeing them play last year, you're going to need to pray very hard. Ohio State is top 3. Who are the other that you're trying to compete with wide receivers? That's what I want to know. So close so many times, bro. Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing. You can be close, but it doesn't matter unless you make it. Romania? Hell yeah. Oh, overall. You're talking out your ass? Makes sense. GC moving nice. Let's see. For shorts, yeah. Yep. A little bit of relative weakness. I feel like gold has just been finding the lower high and short it for the past week. Probably longer than a week. Yeah, about a week. It's just been finding the lower high and short it. Let it rip. Are we going to set a lower high here on the indices? Break NQ back below yesterday's high? If so, the open comes into play, but it's not something like I would love to trade right now, but that's not something that I'm like dying to short. There's probably a lot of you in here that are leaning more short, and I completely understand it. It's just not something I'm like dying to short. But we are pushing back lower. If we get, what is it, 21 on the 4 hour? So you have 35 minutes. If we lose 521 on NQ, that 4 hour is pretty ugly. I just got a 20-point short. Nice. Kyle, you got to be honest. You got to put Michigan up there too. You have to. They hold on to one little aspect while their team goes like 6-10 on the season. You guys will hold on to that national championship for the next 35 years if you don't win another one. You still in NQ? No, Rye. Rye, I was in micros, and the micro slammed down to like here on this candle. So I got caught out. Nashville? Hell yeah. No, Polar Bear, Alabama is not the best. The SEC is washed now. And there's probably a lot of SEC fans in here that are like, hating that. But the SEC is fully washed. And we were 9-4. That's cute. By the independence, let's go play. Yeah, Gamma. Irish would have a lot more respect from people if they showed up to bowl games. I'm gonna quit shit talking all these college teams. That's crazy. I know, like, you can tell how much I pay attention to football compared to the fact that I have no clue how the Cavs are even doing in the playoffs right now. YM structurally does look good. Especially if it gets a strong 4 hour close, it can easily break that top. I definitely think this goes towards all-time highs. It's nice seeing the idea from yesterday play out. The timing was just off on it. Yeah, Gael, it's like once we get out of this range, then I would look to move stops, but until then, probably not as much. Just because of how we're acting with it. I think pretty soon, though, I might wrap up just because I'm in love with any of these charts for the most part. I'm just not dying to enter any of these. I think there's going to be a lot of nice setups throughout the night. I just don't think right now is the time. Where it's like a hell yeah, I need to be in it. If oil does break back below the open, gets back below like 97.5s, I would look for the break higher in the indices, especially towards YM, which has that relative strength. Tomorrow can be interesting to look towards YM names and see structurally like what looks good. This fucking light. I gotta figure out. I don't know if it might be the plug because I have a plug on my desk that I'm using. So might have to get an extension cord. What looks good? Banks. Goldman had a crazy rally today. What is that? 2% for banks is solid. When is Microsoft going to break? That's the question. So if Microsoft breaks this top, I'd be looking for 470s, especially with how long it's consolidated. Home Depot got smoked. Nice hold of 300 though on the broader scale. Then monthly does get more of a failure to go lower. Could look for a move back up towards like 350s. Not a crazy like 12%. So Home Depot is interesting. Microsoft is interesting, but Microsoft's not set up yet. CRM has been in the trenches for a while. I think eventually this name gets love again. It's just a question of when it gets love. The way CRM trades, though, if we break over today's highs tomorrow, there's a lot of potential momentum there. I'm not in love with the weekly structure right now. That's why I would say if we broke tomorrow, could be interesting. So Home Depot, Microsoft, CRM are interesting charts. So I'm going to keep an eye on. Amgen weekly looks pretty good. Big hold of like 320s. Apple, of course. Powerhouse. Travelers Company. That's a damn good chart. Anyone trade Travelers Company? I don't even know what it is, but I know it holds some weight in the YM. What up, XP? That's not a bad chart at all. We at nowhere. 29,550. We're down a little bit, but not crazy. Dude, this chart just looks crazy. Like next week, 315s. How expensive is this? Insurance? Insurance is a scam, but they make a lot of money. Let's see, TRV. See what like next week options are. The next option available is June 18th. Fuck. All right, well, you can't trade options on that name. Never mind. Just call it Trump. Let's see it. IBM. Huge candle today. Huge candle. Are we able to get it? Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, but when you see a candle like this, a lot of times you can click on this down here. It'll show you all the top articles. Amazon looks insane. Do we, if the market trends tomorrow, Amazon 275s? obviously that's a nutty move, but Amazon 3% in a day is not crazy. I mean, that chart looks great. Worst case, get like next week 280s. I like that chart a lot. Boeing off a really big support. Don't trade Boeing much because that chart is disgusting. Told you Amazon at the beginning. Did you? Huh. You just said Meta. Saw a few you mentioned charts, so I'll look at those real quick. Meta's stuck, but dude, it is at such a huge support. Like if you're a long-term Meta fan, I think 600 is a beautiful buying opportunity. Don't worry, Hamad. We check out Len. Been shorting it since 120. Goddamn. For instance, 120. The spreads are just disgusting. Yeah, I mean, main thing I would pay attention to is going to be, what is it? Like that. Just because it was prior all-time highs, it was the pivot here. It's kind of where we're trying to hold at the moment. So you have that, and then obviously the next resistance is going to be something like that. Now, I don't trade this name, so I don't know exactly how it moves, right? So keep that in mind. This is just me doing technical analysis. The biggest thing is going to be the next week. If we get a monthly fail to go lower, it's not something I'd be dying to short. Because at that point, I would start to anticipate the move up to here in the next few months around like 102s and then go off of that. But it looks like you got a really nice short on it. So nice job. Short's paying off. Yeah, they're moving. For those of you that are short, let's see how much it flipped real quick. I'm going to do another poll real quick for the 136 of you that are still on. I just want to see if the bullish bearish is changed off that little structure flip. All right, if you're listening, go hit the poll real quick. Just let me know. Just doing a quick little check. Last time it was like 78% bullish. What up, Zay? Yeah, I'm about to hop off soon. I was just checking a few charts. Still bullish. Great. Someone did say SNDK, so I'll look back on it. Wasn't this like a huge... God damn. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that chart looks fucking insane. And monthly is cracked out. Yeah, I mean, that chart looks crazy. It looks good. Strong daily today. If it breaks all-time highs, it would likely send. What up, Christian? AXP. If you catch 400 points on a Trump tweet right now, you can have 550K from Tradeify, but you have to go buy them with code RT at checkout to get the best discount available. Because you're going to make an astronomical amount of money. So I ain't giving you shit. I'll be happy for you, but I'll be like, you know what? Show us a little love. Show some support. Code RT. What up, David? No, David, I mean, technically, this trade worked. But I was in micros and the contract discrepancy got me out. Technically, it worked, though. But I'm not like, oh my God, trade worked because I got stopped. RGT. Could be a nice little day or weekly higher low if that wants to set. If it does set, good opportunity. Yeah, I agree. Monthly inside bar, look for the break next month. So if next week gets a little stronger close, you have that monthly inside bar you can look for the break of. A lot of opportunity there. I like it. RGTI. Well, RGT looks decent. that has a little bit bigger of a candle. Yep. 30.5% today. The hell? Zay, you in it already? No, David, I got stopped because the micros had discrepancy in them. So the micro had a spike all the way down to like here, while the mini didn't even hit the stop overall. TSM. Yeah, TSM looks fire. I like it. The main chart that I was watching today, I did trade it. I'm open to trading it tomorrow. If it gaps up, I probably won't touch it. But the overall range low hold on the China names, Baba was the big one for me. Getting like if it gives that weekly fail to go lower, which is what I was trading off of, and how we caught that move. I think that interests me a lot. That and PDD daily actually doesn't look terrible. Weekly looks like shit though. Baba looks drastically better. But I mean, it's not the most beautiful chart, but I saw the opportunity and I took it. 200 shares at 16 or 2,000 shares at 16. All right, Zay, I didn't know you got bread like that. I didn't know you built like that. How's the video for tomorrow? I don't like it. Here's why. Can it hold? Yes. But the relative weakness there, unless NVIDIA gets a gap up to like 226.5, I lose interest because of the overall relative weakness between these daily charts. So like the sector of tech and NVIDIA weakness. And then you can compare it to things like AMD. AMD looks phenomenal. NVIDIA is relatively weak. I'm just going to pull up a bunch of these names because I don't, yeah, see it. If Qualcomm is strong and NVIDIA is not, yeah, dude. I mean, if Qualcomm is strong and NVIDIA is not, that's unfortunate. Can NVIDIA play the game of catch up where, let's say it gets a gap down, spikes the lows or gaps higher and catches up to the rest of these names? Yes. Can a trade set up? Yes. At the moment, the daily chart does not look good, but that can change depending on where we open, is the one thing I'll say. And that's the hard part with doing this is looking at charts like this. You can be like, yes, this looks great, but it can change drastically depending on where we open. Yeah, David, it was some BS, but I mean, it was, no joke, had an 11-point stop on NQ, which is absurd. QETS, that looks great as well. Monthly, weekly, daily, all look fire on this thing. Y'all have a lot of charts that look really good. Dell. Yeah, I mean, Dell's been popping off ever since Trump made the tweet to buy Dell. David, it was astronomically tight. It's a tight stop, but if you look at the structure we had, it made sense. The problem is we just got overly volatile at Asia open. But no, it made perfect sense because I put it tight at the low. Even if I put it, let's say, a little bit below at 30s, I still would have got stopped, so I'm glad I had it where it was. What can pull an SNDK? Dell? I mean, if Dell pulled an SNDK, it would go up like 70%. Or you mean like today's candle? Well, then possibly. I think there's a lot of opportunity tomorrow for sure. I do, especially depending on where the market opens. I think there's a shitload of opportunity to be had. See you later, Aussie. Zay's in Hims at 22. Hims is an interesting chart. I think that could be really good for long term. we get a break tomorrow. Could be really interesting for long term. Take like a few month out, 25 calls. Let it rip. What's HIMS even cost? It's got to be cheap because it's 24 bucks. Let's say I did June OPEX. 25s are $1.60. Not crazy. Especially with the recent highs at 31. That's not insane for month out contracts. What's the weekly? The weekly has an ATR of 6. So 1 week would put this at 30. Next week, month out 25s are $1.60. If that goes there, those are at least 350%. Zay might be something. That honestly might be something I'm interested in swinging. I actually really like that. HIMS 1 month out, like 25 calls. Right now they're $1.60 for June 18th. Let's just say it gets to there. Give it another week. Maybe it closes up around like 27s if it gets a nice move. But even we're talking 1 week is $6 for an EM. This is what I usually do. I'll go like $6 and then I'll click it, clone it. Let's say you get a little bit of a pullback the next week, right? Let's say the following week is more of like a consolidation. So like that. And then the week after that is more so a breakout. Now, obviously this is averages. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there. That's why this is the only reason I have ATR on these charts is so I can look at like the ATR of the weekly and dailies. And I'll look at the monthlies as well, just for potential options. Like obviously the monthly is $10, but even if it moves, let's say $10, because that's average once again. And I think I have it set for the prior 30. Is it 30? Where's my, I don't know what the settings thing is. Usually it's right here. But $10 puts us at 34. That's $9 a contract. Zay, I'm interested. Obviously the monthly's weaker right now, but if it does break, that's a chart that I'm very interested in a swing. Yeah, ICL, easily. Remember what I said though, going into this 4-hour close, which is in 15 minutes, as long as we hold 21, I lean more to the upside. We're back above 21. Bulls, what they're gonna wanna see right now, because we're gonna be in a battle. We're right next to 21. Bulls are gonna wanna see that, I'll go to this, so you can see everything. So we have the 5, 15, hourly, 4 hour. If you're a bear, you want this 5 minute to fail immediately. So that way you can push back lower. Break low on the 15. If we end up getting above this 15-minute high, we'd be triggering on the 5 to 15. The hourly would then be a failure to go lower if we get a strong 15-minute close, which would then re-trigger the 4-hour 3-bar play, giving every single time frame a strong structure. So that is what I think, what I'll be watching for in the next 15 minutes on NQ. If you want to take the entry for that possible hold, I think the risk to reward's there. Do I think it's A plus? Not A plus, but it could be a really strong setup. Especially because just that's what you're playing into. It's basically, if this happens, then what should happen? So if this 5 minute holds and triggers, this 15 should attempt to trigger, which is around 50. That gives you like 17 points. If that triggers around 50, and let's just say we close at 50, if you look at the crosshair up at the hourly chart, that's an hourly fail to go lower. If that fails to go lower, we failed to break down. So then what should happen based off of what's showing on the chart should be we test that hourly high. That would put us up around 580 as a target for the next hourly, obviously. But the 4 hour would be strong as well. And honestly, for the 4 hour, my main target would be 720s, 730s on NQ. That's where I'd be looking for the most part. So I think there's good opportunity there for sure. I'm probably not going to like slam into something. So I'm just going to wait for that close, but I'm also likely going to hop off here in a minute. Not toxic. It depends. We've had this conversation a few times on stream. I see what you mean, but it depends on what accounts you trade for the most part. Because there are accounts that don't have consistency rules, where all you literally need is 5 green days of like $150 to get a payout over time. So yes and no is what I would say. There are definitely ones that are more of a game where they have trailing drawdowns, they have consistency rules, and it makes it trickier. It's on a 50K account. No, it is 25% because what you're doing, you're not buying a 50K account. You are buying $2,000 worth of drawdown. And that's what most people need to understand, which I'm sure you understand, but I'm just talking rhetorically. ICL, it means it's possible for sure. I definitely lean to the upside more than the downside right now. Yeah, toxic. It just depends on which accounts you're focused on. I think there's good accounts, like the ones I trade for the most part. Some have consistency, but I ignore the consistency. I trade to wherever the trade goes. If I mess up the consistency, I just need to trade it longer. Like I just took a payout on 2 of them that had consistency. I completely screwed it up, hands down, but I just kept trading until I got to the number I needed to get a payout. Nice, Joe. I like the idea, for sure. Elder, depends on the account because Tradeify and Lucid don't have activation fees. So it's actually less than $100 for the 2K leverage. But yeah, I know what you mean. Gamma. What account are you trading, Eldred? Yeah, toxic. I feel like if most people traded it to the account size they actually get, then that's when they would really like understand it better. Because most people think, oh, I'm getting this eval and it's a 50K eval. I have 50K of capital. No, you have $2,000 in drawdown. That's all you're buying. And then people start risking $500 to $1,000 per trade. And that's why they blow up consistently. Eldred, I would definitely look towards Lucid or Tradeify if you look towards new firms. If Top Step's working and they're paying you, keep at it, brother. Yep, it is a lot of work. I think it's very beneficial for people who are learning and want to reduce their overall risk in the market. But it's also beneficial for larger traders who can capitalize on the copy trading, the large account sizing, and just compounding. Yeah, Elder, that's how we all are, brother. We only lose like accounts because of our own doing. Take the previous day ATR, divide the 2, take the closing previous, add the half ATR to make the high range, and subtract the previous day close. Huh? The low ATR? I don't actively like stare at ATR all the time. Like I'm not basing targets off that. I just look at the average of what the candles are doing. So that way I can get a guide of like, all right, if this works out over this amount of time, what's the potential I can go to? I love Lucid Flex. They're by far my favorite accounts, which that also lines up with Tradeify Select if you choose the 5-day to payout. I just gave me a flashback of a math test. Olin Bush, I love you, but it is way too late for me to be doing math right now. Another stream, hands down, but right now it is way too late. I've done too much in the last 2 days. My brain is fried. ZP, I either do that or I look at the top account where if I do well like the first 2 days, then I just trade slower. Doing something new and just saying no. I'm open to learning. I'm just straight up telling you I likely won't understand it because my brain is just not there today. Because I haven't stopped doing stuff for the past like 3 days. So I'm just being completely honest with you. I'm more than happy to have that conversation in another stream if you're here. But today, it'll go in one ear and right out the other because I will not fully understand it. Chris, use just multi-time frame analysis. Just look at all the charts. The biggest thing I do is go towards the 4 hour going into the morning and see what does it look like. Like the 4 hours going into today, we had just straight range, failing every single direction, a big doji right before, and then we came in like this. I immediately start to lose a little bit of interest, and I just judge it based off the structure and the individual candles coming into that day. Why? Because let's say I need something else to happen on the chart to give me conviction. Every candle, I need something to happen in an additional 4 hours. That tells me basically, all right, it's just not worth it, you know? All in, you're telling me to put this on my chart for like the weekly? Because it's 6.09 for HIMS, if that's what you're talking about, for the weekly ATR. Yeah, I wasn't trying to be like disrespectful or anything. My brain is not full power right now. I did see, when I got my Lucid, I did notice the first 2 Lucid accounts you guys get right now, if you use code RT at checkout, they're 50% off. So you get 50K flex accounts for like $70. It is by far one of the cheapest options to get the opportunity for a funded at the moment. And I was irritated because I was buying 5. I'm like, damn, hopefully the discount keeps going. Bought 2. And then it went up to like $100. I was like, damn, these are going to hurt now. In this long holding until tonight or I get stopped. Yeah, it's a one-time fee on Lucid. I believe Tradeify is as well. I just don't know on Tradeify because I haven't had an eval for more than a month. I either pass it or yeet it by then. A little bit of a rejection off the open there on the old NQ. Hourly failure to go lower, or failure to go higher with 3 minutes left in the hourly candle. It just screams range now at the moment if it pushes lower. Yeah, Zay, potential lower high for sure. For sure. I can tell you if I open the charts tomorrow and it doesn't look good, I'm not trading New York. I'm immediately closing those charts and I'm going to go do something that is not trading related. When I was starting my fund, it was rinsing me on those monthly recurring. Yeah, it's tricky with the monthly recurring. I'm glad the industry is moving away from it though. I am. I'm probably going to be on until the hourly opens and then I'm going to hop. No matter what it does, because I'm probably not going to jump in anything. Hey man, with the Grand Cup account, for me to make it, I think I would need to make almost $9,000 tomorrow on one mini. And the chances of that are slim. I would have to be absolutely dialed from now until market close tomorrow. And I just don't know if I want to do it. Just to be full transparent. I just don't know if I want to do that. I could either take the day off and just enjoy the day and get things done that I need to get done, or sit here and grind and stress over an account to make $9,000 in hopes of making it. Now, if I was closer, yeah, I would. I would trade it. I would probably yeet it, see if I could do it. But for perspective, I would need to catch 450 points on NQ for that to make that money. Or trade silver, and I don't want to do that. Let's see what the Grand Cup is. And I'm fully, at this point, we're just slow yapping. I fully anticipate people to drop off. If you are leaving, enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your weekend as well. Long weekend. Full court silver. No. Okay. T-Bot, you're not supposed to put it into something like logical that makes sense. You're not supposed to do that. Saying it's only 9 50-point trades. That's possible. The problem is, though, you lose one of those, now it's 10. You lose another one, then it's 11. So you need 9 with a 100% win rate, which is possible. But I'm also thinking of just sleeping in tomorrow. At least for the beginning. Which I probably won't do. I'll probably wake up early, inhale caffeine, call it a day. Trying to see where the limit is on Tradeify right now. Oh my God, these people. So before tomorrow, before we even get to tomorrow, to make the top, you need almost $12,000. I have like 2,200, somewhere around there. Actually, I lost a trade. I have 1,900. I would need to make $10,000 tomorrow just to have a dream of getting up there. You know what would suck? Like, imagine doing well in this competition and you're here. You make $11,400 and it's just not enough. Toxic, I'm low now. I've been all the way up to last night. I think at one point I was up to like 2,600. How do I, oh wait, I can just look up me. I dropped to 4,000. I've been just chilling around like the $2,000 to like $3,000 mark. But I put a lot more focus into my fundeds and evals versus that. If I took all the trades on that account, I'd probably be upwards of like 9 right now. Maybe more. Probably ZP. Because I saw that you're allowed to use algos in it. Yeah, I can still get it. It's just gonna be a fucking grind. Like, if I genuinely wanted to, I would just inhale caffeine and not go to bed until the weekend. That's the strategy I would do if I was really trying to grind into it. That account would either be 0 by New York Open, or I would be sniffing the edge of the top 1,000. I think being in it would be awesome for next week. 1,000% awesome. The only thing is I didn't treat this the way I should have. And I'm kind of learning. Last year, what I did is I immediately yeeted the account into oblivion, like day one. This year I did well on it, but I've looked for too big of targets at times. Cause I've been like $1,500 in profit probably 7 times. And I've gotten stopped out break even on all of those. Like, I've made trades where I could be there. I just was trying to hold for those larger home run moves. So I need to trade it differently on the next one, but it's just a work in progress. I think it's fun to do, for sure. Yeah, ZP, there's got to be someone that is just, I guarantee you there's just insane people out there. Like the top guy is up $57,000 this week. Toxic, are you just talking about the broker in general? Or are you talking about buying the accounts? It is fucking mental, ZP. The thing is too, is I don't think that carries over. So at this point it's just a flex, like, hey, I'm top dog. Which respect. I mean, if you make $57,000 this week, respect. But now next week's going to be where it really matters. Because you're fighting people one-on-one the entire week. I think that's going to be the really interesting part. Yeah, Joe, I mean, just the top, to put it like full perspective, the 200th person in the rank has $16,000 in profit. So there's going to be at least 200 people that can make $16K in a week. So you better at least be able to make that. So on average, you have to be able to make, like, let's say $4K a day, any trading day. And there could be a day where we just range for the entire 8 hours, but you're still going to be fighting. Yeah, Ali, I'm probably going to call it as well. I do like the potential for higher over time. It's going to be similar to yesterday. Like at some point overnight, I expect to break and push higher. If we consolidate through the entire night, then I would expect a really big squeeze possibly to the upside tomorrow, and I'd be interested. I am interested in longing tomorrow. I would be looking more so towards like YM and all-time highs. One of the big trades that I'm watching is going to be HIMS, which Zay pointed out. This would be more of a swing trade, probably June or July kind of expirations. Mainly just paying attention to the overall weekly close, but I would definitely, it's something I'm looking to take. Get a decent amount of contracts in it and just let it ride. Don't look back at it. But with that though, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. Solid stream. Unfortunately, we did get stopped out of that one trade, but you know, sometimes it'd be like that with the slippage. So I think I'm gonna call it a night. I will see you guys. I don't know if it'll be Sunday or Monday. I lean more towards Monday because Sunday is a half day. Will the stream be fun? Yeah, but I feel like the trading conditions might not be. Sunday's always volatile. We'll see what Jake does. Whenever Jake decides to do his market open stream, I'll be right after. So just keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the channel. Just whatever Instagrams, we'll let you guys know. That though, y'all have a great rest of your night. Enjoy your long weekend.